The basketball teams enter their conference tournaments.
And the track and field teams compete for their own NJAC titles.
This is All Access, and it tips off right now. Welcome to All Access, the show that is quite exciting, much like this year's NBA All-Star Game, not like Fergie's National Anthem performance. I'm Cody Decker.
And I'm Derek Hill. The temperature is heating up, and so is postseason play for Rowan athletes, so let's not waste any time and get right to the latest on the basketball teams. Cody?
Thanks, Derek. The women's basketball team traveled to Ramapo College on Wednesday in the final game of the regular season to take on the Roadrunners. The defense shined in the first half, limiting the opposition to 12 points, only shooting 13% from the court. This team's comfortable 34-12 lead at halftime was tested later on as the Roadrunners put up 35 in the second half. Despite the better performance, the Profs still outscored the Roadrunners by 2 in the half, winning the game 71-47. Dominique Peters led Rowan with 16 points as the team improved to 15-9 to end the regular season.
Coming off a win in the last game of the season against Ramapo College, the women's basketball team entered the first round of the NJAC Championship Tournament against William Patterson University. Summer Crilly came away with a huge performance, boasting a double-double that consisted of 21 points and 11 rebounds, matching her career high for boards. The Profs only had a 3-point lead at the end of the first half, but stepped it up on defense to only allow William Patterson to score 12 points in the second. The improved defensive showing allowed the Profs to win by 19 points with a final score of 67-48. The team will take on the top-seeded Montclair State University in the semifinals on Tuesday.
The men's basketball team also traveled to Ramapo on Wednesday to take on the Roadrunners. The Profs performed well in the first half, but had to live up to the explosive Roadrunners offense. Ramapo came out of the gate with 41 points in the first half, shooting 41% compared to Rowan's 32%. The Profs would come back and outscore the Roadrunners in the second half, but Ramapo's impressive first half was able to secure them the win. The 82-75 loss ends the season for the Profs as they post a 13-12 record overall. Senior TJ Booth finished with 23 points, and Nick DePerge recorded the 1,000th point of his career.
The men's basketball team also opened up their NJAC tournament on Saturday, facing Montclair State in what turned out to be a great all-around matchup. Rowan battled back after being down by 5 points to tie the game at 64 and send it into overtime. The extra period came with multiple ties and lead changes, both teams trying to grant their team a ticket to the next round. Rowan's hot hand began to falter, however, and Montclair State took advantage. The Red Hawks came away with a 77-73 win over the Profs in overtime. The loss was devastating for the team, but with the young roster they have, they'll look to bounce back next year.
Now for the latest in pro sports, here is Chris Devine with this week's Pro Talk.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Pro Talk. I'm your host Chris Devine, keeping you up to date with the hot topics in pro sports. Starting off with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500 was held this past Sunday, marking the official start to the 2018 NASCAR season. The race was special for two reasons. First, Austin Dillon crossed the finish line to take the checkered flag after a grueling 500 miles. It was Dillon's first career win at Daytona and second win overall in the Top Series. But the emotional part was seeing Dillon's number 3 Chevrolet cross the finish line at Daytona exactly 20 years after legend Dale Earnhardt won his only Daytona 500. Now, every year is an emotional reminder to that fateful day in 2001 at the very same track when Earnhardt wrecked on the final lap, the crash that unfortunately took his life. As I mentioned, to see the number 3 car in the victory lane at Daytona was sure to move any racing fan. The other top story from the race was Darrell Bubba Wallace, who finished in second place. Wallace is the first full-time African-American driver in NASCAR since Wendell Scott in 1971. Scott held the previous record for best Daytona 500 finish by a black driver, which was 13th place set back in 1966. Wallace sure did set the bar high as he hugged his crying mother, who told him how proud she was. "You're acting like we won, Mom," said Wallace with a laugh. "We did," she said. Now, are you one of the people who can't get into baseball because it's too slow, or if you're a baseball fan who wishes that the game would just speed up just a bit? You're in luck. Major League Baseball has implemented a limit on mound visits starting this season. From now on, both teams will be limited to 6 mound visits per game. A mound visit will be constituted as a coach or player meeting at the mound, or if a player comes to the mound during an at-bat to talk to the pitcher. This rule is a great thing in my mind for baseball, as the games were simply just taking too long. The average time of a 9-inning game increased to 3 hours and 5 minutes last season, which is up from 2 hours and 46 minutes back in 2005. It was becoming evident that the games were simply becoming longer due to more mound visits and other stoppages in play, that MLB was losing viewers. So hopefully with these new rules, we will see a faster pace of the game, which will lead to more excitement at the ballpark this summer. And finally, Hollywood was the center of the basketball world on Sunday night for the NBA All-Star Game. No longer was the exhibition as useless defenseless contest anymore, as both teams, captained by LeBron James and Steph Curry, were playing for $350,000 to donate to a charity of their choosing. The losing team would receive $150,000 for charity. Having something to play for made the intensity of the game more noticeable than the past few years. Team LeBron slipped away with a 148-145 win. James collected his third All-Star Game MVP award with 29 points and 10 rebounds. The process, Joel Embiid had an impressive All-Star debut with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks, one of which was on his new rival, Russell Westbrook. A nice little stare down between the two capped that off. Now that all the fun and games of All-Star Weekend is over, it's back to business as a handful of teams in both conferences are fighting for playoff spots. That's all I have for you on this week's Pro Talk. Later, Cody and Derek have the latest on the Division II ice hockey team, but coming up after the break, Mo hosts our Pro Sports Roundtable, so stay tuned for more All Access.
Welcome back to All Access. Time for our Rowan Roundtable. Joining me today are Derek and Chris to discuss topics in pro sports. You guys ready?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So today we'll be talking about the new style of the All-Star Game. You know, instead of the typical East-West, we had Team Steph and Team LeBron where they drafted their teams. So what do you think about the new style?
I'm not going to lie, I actually watched the entire All-Star Game for the first time in a couple of years. I think, I like the East versus West, but it just got really boring and drawn out like most All-Star games across different sports. I think the little added incentive of, the winning team gets the most money to donate to a charity, it gave the game some meaning. You still got all the fancy, flashy, passes and dunks and whatnot, but I think you could tell that both teams were playing defense, and teams were fouling, and it felt competitive for the first time in a long time. And I think that's kind of what you want. I mean, as long as there's some kind of award or common goal, then the players will go out and play for it. And I think the fact that it's all for charity, it's all for a good cause, and it makes them want to play hard, it's beneficial. And I was a fan of it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. Not a fan of the All-Star Game, but when I watched the highlights, I thought it was interesting. People were actually competing. I did not know about the charity donation. I think that's very interesting. And congratulations to LeBron James on he won the MVP, I guess. I mean,
again.
But I feel like they could do something other than the All-Star Game, even though it was interesting this year. But for something that doesn't really matter, I feel like the players should deserve that break in the middle of the season instead of playing for nothing.
So something other like what?
Like maybe even a small tournament. Give like 2 weeks
3-on-3
off.
or something?
Say 2 weeks off at 3-on-3, or maybe every team
Someone other
in
than
a
Fergie to do the
bracket
national
plays each other
anthem.
one time, makes it more interesting.
We'll pitch your idea to Adam Silver. Let's see what he thinks.
So, second question of the day. If you could play any sport, like any professional sport, what would it be and why?
You want to take the...
I'll start. Definitely baseball. Played baseball since I was 5. T-ball, that's how I started. I love baseball. I watched almost every Yankees game last year. I had to pay $50 for it though, because we're out of market, which is horrible. But yeah, definitely baseball, favorite sport.
See, my favorite sport's hockey, and I would love to play ice hockey. It's just my feet are so big that I have really bad balance, and I can't ice skate. So, I mean, if I could, ice hockey, but I think a more realistic thing would, like, I played baseball in high school, so maybe if I, stuck with it, who knows, maybe baseball would have been it too. But I would actually like to play ice hockey if I knew how to ice skate better.
So what would you think your least best sport would be?
Basketball, hands down.
How come?
Probably be the smallest guy on the court, and anything inside of a three-point shot I probably wouldn't be able to make. So, for a big disadvantage for me there.
The sport I would play the least?
The least.
I would say basketball too. My career high was 4 points in rec. That's all
Wow.
I have to say.
All-star.
That's all I have to say.
Superstar. Wow. Wow. Was it difficult 4 points?
Did you have to
I
work
mean,
for it?
I didn't get that many shots because I wasn't good, so I was 2 for 2 in that game.
So wait, so you have a lifetime rec shooting percentage of 100%?
I mean, I didn't only score in
Oh,
that game.
all right,
My
all
career
right.
high is 4.
Oh, okay.
My all-time shooting percentage is probably 12. Give or take a little
Below
bit.
0?
Could be. You never know.
All right. So next, in the baseball offseason, you've noticed Yankee signings such as Giancarlo Stanton. So is it safe to say that the Yankees are building the first baseball superstar team the way it has been done in basketball and football? Is baseball creating these superstar teams that are now becoming unstoppable?
I wouldn't say a superstar team. It's kind of hard to say in baseball they have superstars because in other sports it's a really big team sport. In baseball it is a team sport, but there's an aspect of having to play well yourself to help the team also. I think it's one of the bigger sports where it's like solo player wise. So it's an interesting conversation whether or not it is a superstar team now and whether or not it's going to be a thing. But I mean, there's been teams in the past, like look at the 27 Yankees. It's very similar to that. So I'm not sure about superstar.
Yeah, I think if you're looking in terms of the Yankees right now, you can sit there and say that they're a super team because now they have Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. I mean, in my mind, I think they're the favorites to win the World Series this year, and I'm a Phillies fan. But I think it's kind of hard to say that they're a super team or that it's becoming like the NBA, where guys are choosing the most best built teams and making these outrageous 99 overall type teams, because you got to remember that Stanton was traded. He didn't go there on free agency.
Right.
Derek Jeter became the owner of the Marlins, and he turned around and sold the farm, handed the Yankees Giancarlo Stanton. But I mean, as far as baseball is concerned, I mean, I think right now you get players, maybe take Jake Arrieta for example. He's on the free agent market and he's kind of picking around as to here's how many years he wants on the deal. He wants a certain amount of a certain dollar amount, and if it's not met, he's not going to play for that team. But also he prefers a team that's winning. So I think you see that a lot in baseball too in free agency, where the guys I'll play for anybody as long as they're winning. And it's not even so much about the dollar figure amount anymore. They want the dollar figure to come with it. And I think you look at Bryce Harper, where supposedly I heard he wants a 13-year, $500 million deal when his deal's over.
Which isn't going to happen.
It isn't going to happen, but you get players like that who get picky about where they want to go. So I think baseball is safe for right now. I mean, people want to sit there and throw the Yankee, Giancarlo Stanton go to the New York thing, but you got to remember he was traded. He didn't go there on free agency. So
I think people confuse superstar teams with all offense, but in baseball, I think the defense is more important, if not as important, as the offensive side. So if you were to dub a team a super team, I would probably say Houston, because of the fact that their pitching rotation and their offense are both as good as each other.
Okay, so keeping on with superstar teams. In the NBA, about 2 weeks ago, you would have said the Cavs will not make it out of the East. And they made some huge trades, and now they're about 5-1 since those trades. So what do you think about the new Cavs team? Can they make it out of the East?
I think they can. I mean, they went on that big fire sale at the trade deadline, and I don't think anybody really expected the moves that they made. But I think the key thing is that they made the team younger, and they had more athleticism, better shooting, better defense. I think it actually made them a better team overall. And you get these younger guys who now get to play alongside with LeBron James. That adds a little bit of momentum and a little bit of fire in them. So, yeah, I think that the Cavs will make it out of the East, and unfortunately, I think the Warriors are going to make it out of the West. So I hope you enjoy watching that for a fourth year in a row.
I think it's too soon to say if they'll make it completely out of the East all the way to the NBA championship. But I will say that they did a great job making their team young again. And there's something about having a young locker room that makes teams good. And on top of that, they also improved their defense, which not a lot of basketball teams are looking at now in the NBA. So really, they've really improved their team all around.
It's because you're not allowed to play defense, but you know.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for this Rowan Roundtable. After the break, Cody and Derek will have more news, more Rowan sports news. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to All Access. Time to lace up our skates and see how the Division II ice hockey team fared in their league tournament. Derek?
Thanks, Cody. The Division II ice hockey team's weekend began with a matchup against Ryder in a MAC North semifinal game. The Profs shut out the Bronx 3-0 on Friday afternoon. Rowan's 3 goals consisted of 1 in each period. In the first, the Profs started the scoring early. About 3 minutes into the first period, Sam Myers scored on the power play off an assist from Tucker Simmons. In the second, Lou Claps had a goal assisted by Aaron Signello. The win was sealed by Bobby Penrod's empty net goal in the final minute of the third period. Rowan goaltender Justin Nattiello was named player of the game by making 24 saves in the shutout performance and having an assist on Penrod's empty netter. The Profs had 7 chances on the power play, which helped in establishing offensive zone pressure and allowed them to move on in the tournament.
On day 2 of the MAC tournament, Rowan had their work cut out for them as they took on the #1 team in the country, Penn State. In a high-scoring affair, the Ice Lions defeated the Profs 10-6. Rowan had 2 one-goal leads in the first period, but the Ice Lions used a strong 4-goal second period to pull away. The Profs were able to come back to make it a 1-goal game at 7-6, but the Ice Lions scored 3 goals after to win the game. For Penn State, forward Ambrose Sequadro had a hat trick and 2 assists, and forward Bobby Freeling had a goal and 2 assists. Rowan was led by Nick Ramos with 2 goals and Tucker Simmons with 3 assists. Despite coming up short in the league tournament, the Profs look forward to accomplishing a bigger goal at the regional tournament with a ticket to nationals in the balance. They will need to win 2 games this weekend to get to Columbus. As the number 7 seed, they will take on number 6 Miami of Ohio on Saturday at 9 p.m. in Lynchburg, Virginia.
The men's swimming and diving team competed at the Metropolitan Championship over the weekend, starting with events on Friday. The 200 freestyle relay of Eric Feuerstein, Nate Wodowicz, Dylan Regan, and Kevin Galuli took first place with a time of 1 minute, 22.45 seconds. Galuli would also capture first place in the 50 free with a time of 20.55 seconds. Sean Piacente earned first place on the 3-meter diving board. And finally, the 400 medley relay team was able to capture a second-place spot.
The men's swimming and diving team entered day 2 of the Metropolitan Championships on Saturday, hanging on to first place. The 200 medley relay team of Dan Lawton, Matt Grubb, Oliver Cruz, and Kevin Galuli swam a winning time of 1 minute, 31.14 seconds, which was an NCAA B cut. The 800 freestyle relay team of John Tepper, Kyle Printon, Nate Wodowicz, and Eric Feuerstein finished second with a NCAA B cut time of 6 minutes, 44.84 seconds. Feuerstein also won the 200 freestyle in 1 minute, 39.56 seconds, and Tepper took third with a time of 1 minute, 39.97 seconds. Both times were better than the NCAA B cut time of 1 minute, 40.24 seconds.
The men's swimming and diving team captured its 3rd straight Metropolitan Championship on Sunday. The Profs claimed the team title with 1,394.5 points out of 17 schools. Rowan's Justin Eakins was named the diving coach of the meet, while Sean Piacente was chosen the diver of the meet. Eric Feuerstein was selected the swimmer of the meet, and Kevin Galuli earned Rookie of the Meet honors. The 400 freestyle relay took first place with an NCAA B cut time of 3 minutes, 2.16 seconds. Feuerstein had a winning time of 45.29 seconds in the 100 freestyle, which was an NCAA B cut time of 45.46 seconds. Yusuf El Shenway won the 200 butterfly with a time of 1 minute 50.57 seconds, as John Tepper won the 1650 freestyle in 15 minutes 40.12 seconds, which was a school record and NCAA B cut. He broke his own university mark of 15 minutes 53.45 seconds.
After the break, Ayala talks more hockey with one of our club hockey coaches. Come right back.
Welcome back to All Access. Time for this week's Prop Spotlight. Joining me this week is John Caulfield, head coach of Division II ice hockey team. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate you having me.
So, just tell me about the Rowan ice hockey program.
Well, we've been around since 1976. We're under the club sports through the rec center. Play all of our games a couple miles off campus at Hollydale Ice Arena. We play some bigger brand name schools like Penn State and Liberty University. Play University of Maryland. We travel a couple hours away, 7 hours away down south, and been out west a few times. I've been around 12 years. And almost every single guy we've ever had come to the program is from the great state of New Jersey.
Right, repping Jersey all the way.
That's it, we hardcore rep Jersey.
Well, you know, you guys played a strong competitive season. You know, the guys that I had opportunity to interview with, they definitely, you know, gave out the stamina of the team, very strong, competitive. Even though it's a new team, you guys were able to hold your own. So tell me about some of the highlights that happened there.
Yeah, we had a lot of rookies this year. We had 11 new faces, and I think between first and second year players, we had somewhere around 17 or 18 guys. So a lot of trying to get familiar with each other. But I'd say probably the highlight for the year, we were able to play an outdoor game against the University of Delaware. So.
Right.
Anytime you can get some puck action outside, even the frigid temperatures don't seem to bother. It was a good time. We raised a little bit of money for the MS Society. You guys were there covering the game, so it was a great day.
And what can those rookies, you know, take away from that season?
Well, it's lucky for them. They've come into a program that had been. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to go to playoffs and to regionals for the last 7 years. So. The group of guys that are leaving us, they're able to, I guess, guide or handheld or to teach them exactly what it takes to play a certain way that you would be able to continue on in that track, going to playoffs every year.
Right.
So coming in as a young guy, you don't really have any kind of idea what's happening here. So they've far exceeded our expectations. They've all played extremely well. They've answered the bell when it rang, and I think next year going through, we won't be nearly as young as we are this year, and that extra little bit of experience and getting thrown into the deep end of the pool to help us out. So I'm looking forward to what they can offer us in the next coming years.
Yeah, I saw a lot of great stuff from the rookies. So we had an eventful weekend, you know. Congrats off your win against Ryder.
Yeah, it's always fun to beat those guys.
Yeah, take them out, you know, any competition that we have. So what took place to cinch that 3-0 win?
It was a lot closer than the 3-0 made it sound. Special teams for us was the key. Ryder got themselves into a little penalty trouble. We didn't take as many penalties as they did. We scored on one of our power play opportunities, and they didn't score on any of theirs. So
yeah, you guys were able to maintain your cool throughout the 3 periods.
I won't go that far. Maybe we got it. Maybe we got away with some things we shouldn't have. But we were much more disciplined in a Ryder Rowan game than we normally were. That is true.
Yeah, I did expect a lot more.
Yeah,
but this was good. This was great.
There's a lot of hatred going on. We got a good hate on.
Hating from Ryder.
You got a lot of hate on for those guys.
So and we have, you know, Miami U coming up. So what can we expect from that game?
Miami's a tough team, and it seems that every year we seem to, in the last 7 times we've been to regionals, we've gotten them 4 times on the draw. So first time we played them, we upset them. Second 2 times they took it to us. So I'm not really sure what to expect. I don't know much about them because they play out in Ohio, but I've been told that they're pretty similar to what they were last year. So I guess we'll find out when we get there.
What are your expectations from the game, though?
I expect it to be Rowan style hockey. I want to see up tempo, fast paced. I really want us to see us stay out of the penalty box. one of the other coaches called us scrappy, and I think that's a fairly accurate description of us. Is we never stop coming, we never quit. So regardless of whether we're up a goal or down a goal, we try to maintain that aggressive edge and to play hard and fast every time. Fast, quick, and aggressive. I don't know if the guys mentioned it. I say it all the time, fast, quick, and aggressive. They make fun of me for it, but I always try to stress, let's play the game fast, let's play it quick, and let's be aggressive.
So that's one of the strengths you believe the team has that keeps make sure that the goals are it's not peppered with goals and whatnot.
Yeah, we try to keep everybody steered outside. We try to, ideally, I'd like to see us keep people under 30 shots a game. It doesn't always work out that way, but it is one of the goals I have. The systems that we designed that we try to teach is that we try to force everyone outside, try to bring everyone down low to clog the high percentage goal areas and to make sure that there is no second chances if they do get their first shot.
Good stuff. How about Penn State? What happened with that game?
They were just bigger, faster, stronger, and we got ourselves into a little bit of a gunfight, and then we just ran out of bullets. It's basically what it came down to. They're a tough team. There's a reason they're number one. So. But
you guys did hold your own.
We did okay. We did okay. I mean, there's some things in retrospect you say, well, we could have, would have, should have, but in the end, they were just a little bit bigger, a little more experienced than us, and that paid off for them in the end.
What else can the team establish from the past games?
Well, seeing as our league is so deep, 6 of the teams in our league are making up the top 10 in the regional. So just coming through our playoffs, you're going to naturally get that kind of experience of what it's like to be in a mini regional, having played just the top. So like Penn State was number 1, Liberty is number 3, then us is 7, then you have like Delaware, Maryland, and Rider at 8, 9, and 10. So you just, there's no easy outs. You got to come ready to play, and then that kind of tough game where you play other ranked teams that carries down when you move on to play similarly ranked teams. So hopefully we got a little taste of what to expect, and we'll be prepared to carry what we did this weekend with us down to Lynchburg.
Right, and what would give Rowan that edge, especially for next season?
Ooh, any goaltenders? We're looking for some bodies. I mean, the old cliche is you want a better coach, get a better goaltender. So we can always, goaltending is a position. We got some young guys that are coming in, so they're feeling their way around. We're going to lose our number 1 D-man, so we could always use another defenseman. That would certainly help. Somebody 6'4", 210 pounds, who's fast as the wind, that wouldn't hurt either.
Just drop off from the sky,
you got a couple studs hidden somewhere around. We'll be glad to take them off your hands.
Right. But no, I've definitely felt like the Rowan team was able to, hand in there, especially when facing those big, heavy teams. And, I expect a lot from the upcoming games and, for next season especially when the rookies definitely, dip their toes and,
Yeah, I think they're up to their necks now. They're not going to be rookies next weekend.
Right, exactly. They already faced everything they've
really seen a pretty tough schedule. We've been pretty fortunate that way.
Well, thank you so much. That is all the time we have.
Awesome.
I'd like to thank Coach Caulfield for coming. Cody and Derek, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Ayala. Time to round out the show, beginning with the Women's Swimming and Diving Metropolitan Championships. Cody?
Thanks, Derek. The women's swimming and diving team also competed at the Metropolitan Championship over the weekend, starting with the events on Friday. The 400 medley relay team broke the school record in their second-place finish with a time of 3 minutes, 53 seconds. This beat the previous record from last year, which was 3.44 seconds slower. Carly Timmons took second place in the 500 freestyle with a school record time of 5 minutes, 1.97 seconds. Finally, the 200 freestyle relay team came in fourth place with a time of 1 minute, 38.73 seconds.
The women's swimming and diving team propelled themselves into first place after the second day at the Metropolitan Championships on Saturday night. The 200 medley relay team of Alex Bambrick, Megan Miller, Gabby Gleeger, and Miranda Coughlin finished second with a school record time of 1 minute 47.08 seconds. The 800 medley relay team of Coughlin, Antonia Simunik, Veronica Alvarez, and Bambrick finished in third with a time of 7 minutes 51.9 seconds. Alvarez took fourth in the 400 individual medley. Her time of 4 minutes 36.25 seconds broke the university record of 4 minutes 36.82 seconds, which was set by Kate Winters back in December 2009.
On the third day of the Metropolitan Championship, the women's swim team took first place out of 18 total teams. Multiple school records were broken during the third day of competition, starting with the 400 freestyle relay of Antonia Simonek, Elizabeth O'Brien, Bianca Karpinski, and Miranda Coughlin. They earned a winning time of 3 minutes 32.64 seconds, breaking the original record by 1 second. Carly Timmons held the Rowan record with an NCAA B-cut time on the 1650 freestyle with a time of 17 minutes 24.12 seconds, breaking the original record that she set by 0.3 seconds. To round out the performance by the team, Alex Bandrick earned second place on the 200 backstroke, and Gabby Gliger earned second place on the 200 butterfly.
On Monday, the men's track and field team claimed the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship for the fourth year in a row. They accumulated 252 points, winning the meet by over 140 points over second place Stockton University. All of the relay teams took first place, including the 4x200 meter relay of Tyler Garland, Jonathan Ramirez, Stephen Jones, and Shai Mumford, who set a school, meet, and facility record with a time of 1 minute 28.27 seconds. Bobby Cooks won the 60 meter hurdles, and Francis Terry won the 400 meters. In field events, Harrison Escafri took first in the high jump with a height of 6 feet 8.25 inches. He also finished second in the triple jump, beating his school record distance. Next up for the team will be the Fast Track Last Chance Invitational on Saturday at 4 p.m.
The women's track and field team fell 15.5 points short of TCNJ but placed second at the NJAC Championships on Monday. The 4x200 meter relay team of Darielle Cross, Aspen McMillan, Anaya Robinson, and Brianna Angelella took first place with a time of 1 minute 42.61 seconds. Hannah Vandetta took first place in the 60 meter hurdles and was followed by Emily Acton. Cross took the top spot in the 200 meters with a time of 25.88 seconds. Robinson also won the 60 meter dash with a time of 7.77 seconds. Michelle McCauley won the long jump with a distance of 17 feet 7 inches. The women will also compete at the Fast Track Last Chance Invitational on Saturday at 4 p.m.
We have come to a close for this week's episode of All Access. For Mo Ware, Isla Gideon, Chris Devine, Cody Decker, and the entire All Access team, I'm Derek Hill. Enjoy your week, Profs.